I'm ready, bro.
Let's get to it.
Baseline.
Hey.
Hey, man, do your thing, man. Do your thing, brother.
I'm MP. You know why? Why? Because it's the Porch Podcast. Come on. It's the Porch Podcast. Right. It's the Porch Podcast. Come on.
Come on,
It's the
Eddie.
Porch Podcast. Porch Podcast. So I'm back to the mic. Influential back here. Now watch me take flight. Got the flow coming because P in the back. Amping me up. And y'all know it's like that. That's an old school rhyme. An old school line. I'ma do it each and every time, cause I flow like the best of them. Hit them with the rest of them. Just left the Tim, the gym working chest in them. Chests in the biceps, chaps in the back. Influential the illest, so know I'm on the map, yeah, and watch me get to the trap, yeah, and I ain't never sell crack, you know why? Why? Cause it's the Porch Podcast, so come on, and it's the Porch Podcast. Yeah, and it's the Porch Podcast, so come on, and it's the Porch Podcast. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Welcome to the Porch Podcast. Welcome to the Porch Podcast. It's your boy DJ E, Mr. Influential, and I'm rocking with my brother.
P original, baby.
Yeah, and this is episode 64, SDE. SDE. Hey, P.
Yeah.
Talk to him like you do at the beginning of a show, and just elaborate. Ask them little questions and see what they going through in life.
Man, episode number 64, man. SDE. I wonder what y'all think it stands for. Quite sure, you'll understand once we get into the topic today. Nonetheless, you know what I mean? This is episode 64, and we're ready to get into it.
We gonna get into it. So listen, I'm gonna do this today because we usually, I'm over here making sure that I move the money out the way because you can't get nothing on the money. You know what that is. So
Yeah, don't get nothing on the money.
Yeah, don't get nothing on the money. So SDE is, and I believe that was about 2002, maybe 3, but maybe 4. I don't know, but it's a reflection of the great Cameron's album, Sports, Drug, and Entertainment. He called it the SDE. I remember they had the album cover. I think they didn't want to let it go out because I think it was like an NBA logo with a gun or something like that, and they ain't want to let him put that out back then. So he just put his face on there. But what influenced me to talk about this episode today is in the last episode we talked about the great B.I.G. because last week made 25 years that he had passed. So I also explained that Cam was honestly one of the artists on Big's album, because they was on Undis and Big. He was one of Big's artists, whether people didn't know that or not. He actually, that's why Mace was talking about, I took you to Big House, all this, whatever. That's a whole different thing. But this album, Sports, Drugs, and Entertainment, was motivated because Cam spoke about how coming from places, inner hoods, inner cities, the hoods and all that, you either had sports, drugs, or entertainment.
Yeah, that's real.
And then he sampled Big's voice. And the hook was, to see the streets is the short stock. Either you sling a crack rock or you got a wicked jump shot. And I'm here to say, I understood that mentality back then. But now as I'm getting ready to grow and my ideas are becoming bigger, that wasn't the truth. Not knocking his album, but that was his emotion and his feelings at the time. And as you can see, he came on, he continued to go through life. He played sports. He played basketball in college. He sold drugs. Got locked up. Came home, went into a life of entertainment. Was successful. Got financial literacy. The rest is history. You understand what I'm saying? I'm saying all this to say, let me ask you this. If he had that type of financial literacy, the exact type of not the hustle's mentality that he got from Harlem, but that same financial literacy that he learned once he got the money from entertainment, do you think he went through The D part of SDE?
I still think it comes down to your options.
Right.
So I think that he would have had the same options, but I also believe in my heart of hearts that he would have had a better exit strategy.
Right.
So I think that the options would have remained the same.
Right.
Whether his decision to go into those things would have been the same, would have been a little bit different because it may be the thing that was most prevalent to him, right? Or
Right.
it might be what was there in abundance, right? It may have been the avenue or the road that was taken more often. But I think that everybody, not just him, but it's common for people to want to build a better mousetrap.
Right.
Even though they know it's a mousetrap, they just want to do it better. So, I believe that there's a part of it. If you think about what I'm saying in terms of my response, I think it still would have came down to his ability to make decisions. Like,
Right.
for him to do that, and this ain't no, knock against anybody who takes different paths and walks different walks to get to where they're trying to get to.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe that he took the route he did because he felt like it was the route he wanted to.
Right.
Like he gave you the impression that ain't nobody forced me into this life and into these options. I made a decision to go this route. So I
Right.
just think that the chances are, even with that education or financial literacy, he still could have probably possibly made the same decisions.
And I agree. I agree. And let me tell you why. That's why I just asked a question to see your feeling because just like the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, me and you was actually watching the video and we see where Robert Kiyosaki explained why the rich dad, Mike's dad, he was forced into that. So I'm not saying that Cam was forced into that. He made the choice because even Mike's dad wasn't forced into it. He made the choice at 13 to say, I'm going to run my father's business with the help of these people. With that being said, yes, I still believe he would have did it because it's a part of his whole journey. That's what built him to want to be an entrepreneur. That's what built him to say, you either got sports, drugs, entertainment. Guess what? Guess what he has basically said? I ain't never gonna be nobody's employee.
Yep.
That's what he came out to be. So I'm here to say I love that album SDE. Because when you sit back and really thought about it, I mean, everybody's thing may not be sports, drugs, entertainment. Somebody may just be one. Somebody might just come out with entrepreneur.
Yeah.
That's it. You know what I mean? This the landscaping album. I'm here to cut your trees down, bitch. You know what I mean? You know how this. I'm just saying.
The landscaping album, huh, bro?
Huh?
Landscaping album, huh?
Landscaper album, man. That's all.
You never know.
Never know.
I mean, I think like you were saying, like those were just some of the options, right?
Right.
Like you said with the whole terms with SDE, and then Cam's ability to be able to make a decision to kind of be involved with all of them,
Right.
right? So like, when you really think about it, okay. So he dabbled.
It was him, and Jim did the same thing. They both did the same thing. So.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
They dabbled.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And at some point, even though the options that's available to you seem similar, that's available to the next person that's around you, at some point you come to the point where you like, it's either for me or it's not.
Yeah.
Right? Because like everybody who can play ball don't try to go to the league. Some people just can play basketball real good and just they comfortable with that.
That's it. That's what it is.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like we talked about it before. You might look up and you might see somebody who's still rapping later into their later years of life, right?
Right.
And at this point, if you talk to them, every one of those, somebody on the outside might be like, yo, why are you still rapping? This person, or even if they ain't talking to them and they talking about them, dang, that person's still rapping. They 40 something years old. Why they
Right.
still rapping?
Right.
On the flip side of that situation, what they don't know is if they ask that person may turn around and say, yo, it's something I enjoy doing.
That's what I do. That's what I love to do.
That's what I love to do.
That's what keeps my calm.
Everything ain't gonna be related. Like we talk about like, I don't care if you're into art. Say you're an artist, like, bro, I drew many of pictures,
Yeah.
many of different designs and all that and third. And I would do certain things sometimes, and I told you, my wife would make statements like, who you drawing that for free now?
Mm-hmm.
Not understanding that it ain't even so much that everything is attached to a monetary reason. Sometimes you do things in life, you know,
Right.
good, bad, or indifferent,
Right.
because of the fact that it's something that you enjoy. And it may be parts of it,
Right.
right? Like honestly, most people who get into the D part of it in terms of SDE,
Mm-hmm.
most of the people that probably get into it, they all focus on the same thing. They're in it to make money.
Right.
Some people wind up being into it, and their money creates a status for them. And now the drug or the draw ain't even so much the money; it's the status.
It's the status.
Like that's a byproduct of having the money. So
Right.
what happens is, you know what I mean? Sometimes when you have all these things, which is why then the entertainment element of it comes in, and
Right.
now they're out there. You know what I mean? So I see what's going on with that. Like I see what you're saying in terms of it and the significance of it. But it's one of those things where sometimes in life you got to be able to be smart enough to be able to differentiate between what your calling, your purpose is, and what you just into and interested in at that time.
Right. Right. I mean, the thing is, the key to everything everybody got to realize, and just I want everybody to see and think about is find joy in life.
Right.
Because we always talk about nothing is promised but death. So you shouldn't run around frustrated all the time. You shouldn't allow everybody to tick you off all the time. You understand
Right.
what I'm saying? Like it's
Yeah.
just it someday you gotta make this decision and just say, yo, I'm not letting this bother me today, man. I ain't worried about that. You know what I mean? Like, some days it's gonna get you, and some days like, no, I don't care about that. I don't care about that. No, I don't care. And somebody says, see, that's fucked up. You just literally saying you don't care. I don't care about that, man. I'm not about to get annoyed because of the simple fact I ain't get a piece of the cheesesteak. You don't understand. They ain't think about you enough to even leave you a piece of cheesesteak. Bro, I could go buy 3 of them motherfuckers. I'm blessed to be able to go buy a whole one myself. Why I'm worried about a corner? But some
Yeah.
people get that annoyed, man. I'm just using it. It sounds silly, but I'm just using it for an example.
Nah,
That's how some people be.
Nah, it ain't silly.
You
That ain't
know?
silly. That ain't silly because you got people that, just like how you got some people out there that scared they're gonna miss everything, or like you said in
Right.
previous episodes, you got some people that got to be first.
Yeah,
It doesn't even matter
everybody
whether or not
can't be first.
Yeah, like you said that a while ago.
Yeah.
Like, and then you got that. So like that's why I said what I said. Like in terms of the whole SDE thing, even though you know that those are some of the options that's there, you still got to make a choice to be quote unquote part of the status quo of it anyway, right? Because like if you look up and you got that guy that's in your neighborhood, like we talk about Petey, ain't talked about him in a while,
Yeah.
but Petey made some decisions very early on that he was going to go against the grain of what was new, known
Right.
to most known to most people.
Known to noon.
Yeah, it was about noontime
listen.
when he knew it.
That's what to say it. I was exactly about to say it. And he always had his job done by noon.
Yeah,
Because he
so,
walked dogs in the morning.
right.
Hey.
So like that's the thing. You understand that? You know what I'm saying? And they only walk white dogs at night though, for obvious reasons.
Yeah, he wanted a couple
Want
of
people to be able to see him.
He wanted to be able to see him, and he knew it was safer. He knew
Right.
it was safe. He knew it was safer.
Right, and probably let's be honest.
Yeah.
He probably was looking for something too, and he had those
Right.
dogs out there with him that was matching the color. You know what I'm saying? So,
SDE.
you know what I mean? Yeah. Smelling dogs
Everywhere.
everywhere.
Sniffing dope entertainment. That's what that dog was doing. Shout out to Petey, man. He told him they used to bite the flavor out of him.
Oh, so, but, like we crack jokes about it, right? We can laugh about Petey because first and foremost, You
Right.
know, he survived.
He survived.
So we can laugh in that element of it. But he was an individual.
Yeah.
And even though the same options was there for him, maybe slightly different for
Yeah.
obvious reasons. But he still had to make a decision.
Right.
Like he still had to make a decision. Matter of fact, his decisions were even more different because based on, you know, him being different than the rest of us, um, there was already a lane carved out for him.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So
Right.
you had the options that were available to you based on demographic, where you are, and then the options that were based on the other factors. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So he made a decision to walk dogs.
Right.
That took a lot of courage. It took a lot of how can I say thought to go against what he already known. Known again, known and known.
He known at noon. He knew it.
He known to that known.
Yeah.
Or known to that noon. You know what I'm
Knew
saying?
it.
But
Yeah.
needless to say, man, you know what I mean? Those options were there for him as well. And he just chose to go against the grain of what the status quo with the regular routine
But
decisions were.
but do you remember when PD
Mm-hmm.
would walk the block and he would see Midnight? He never walked Midnight. But Midnight had a respect for each other.
They did.
Yeah.
They did. They
Right.
did.
He Midnight, he see Midnight in the PD. It almost looked like he was like PD, Midnight. Just kept walking. Shit, like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah,
You
they
know?
acknowledge each other, like you said, PD.
Midnight.
Midnight. They walk past each other.
Yeah.
They move.
Yeah. Midnight, you saw it be like, I should bite the shit out of him. And then PD said, I should, yeah, I should.
That's how they would move around each other in the alley and shit. The alley.
Yeah. Oh, man.
But I know a lot of people, man, who are just good at going against the grain of it being the only available options, right?
Right.
Because like it seems to me like most of the time when that came up in music, all seriousness, it came up in a time where it was being heavily promoted because that was the thing, right?
Right.
Like you never heard nobody be like, you know what I mean, be a lawyer, be a doctor, you know what I mean, be whatever. You never heard any of those things, not because it wasn't cool, because
Yeah.
everybody always knew that those particular
heard it.
professions,
We heard it more in the 80s than we did.
right?
Yeah, in the 90s, in the early 2000s.
Right.
You're right.
But it's okay. So it's not uncommon
Right. It just didn't match with the
For-
time.
for the struggle
Mm-hmm.
to be glorified more, in my opinion,
Right.
than the
Right.
paths that require you to put a lot more energy, effort, focus,
Right.
all of the other, qualifying factors that would help you get to those, to that point of success and into those, prestigious, positions in life. It just seems like a road that's too far to travel.
Right.
Like when people find out how much school you got to go to really become a lawyer, or how much schooling you have to really go to become a doctor.
A doctor. Yeah.
Working in that situation, even though those positions are held in high regard, and all the people that that work in that field or work in those fields, they're always viewed to be very intelligent people.
Right.
It's just a road that seems like it has more, it has a longer road. Even though the quick road come with higher penalties, it come with higher different degrees of difficulty. It could cost you your life. It could cost you, whether it's life in terms of you actually, going to prison or any of these things. But people would rather, I ain't gonna necessarily say rather. People look at that option a little bit differently because most of the stories that come out of it, most of the stories that look like they're success stories, they could put their hands right on it. I got an uncle, man. Now I mean, hustled 100 miles an hour, went to jail. He was good, man. Go home,
Yeah.
He'd be locked up for 2 years, come home, be out
Right.
for 3 years, go back in for another 4, and that to them, they rationalized it. They even had a term that came out at one point or another. They were calling them career criminals.
Right.
Just different people, period. They had everything to
Right.
do with that. You had people that was comfortable with the reality that they had to go into the institution, and they may be in there 16, 18 months, and they didn't
Yeah.
look at it like anything. They would just
It look
pause
like
their
they just
life.
moved somewhere. They just moved somewhere.
Yeah, and then us on the outside, what we would do is we would create these excuses of different things, right? Oh, he's away in school. That's
Yeah.
what you tell the kids.
He went to college.
Yeah, what college he went to?
I ain't never seen a
Because
degree on the
everybody got
wall.
a spring break. He don't never come home for spring break, Christmas. No, why?
But here's the thing. We dealing with a different type of SDE. You notice that a lot of jobs are hiring. A lot of people can't hire. Me and you watched the CNN report where it was just people trying to hire people because people. It's like people don't want no jobs, but it's not that they don't want no job. They're SDE. You know, I got to be you for a minute. Acronym. They're super determined everywhere.
Yeah,
They want to be themselves. You know what I mean? Keep rapping with them.
yeah,
Man. Keep rapping
yeah.
with them.
Nah, I think what it is all right. So right now, with everything in the job field, in the job world, I think what people have come to grips with is that they probably now know their value a little bit differently. I think that what people understand more than anything else is that if you don't put a value on yourself, then that means that you'll settle for whatever anybody wants to give you or whatever they think your value is.
Right.
So, you have to identify, like when we was talking about in the previous episode, in episode 63, what's big to you? What's a big thing to you? You know what I mean? Is, financial, literacy, a big deal for you? Is the ability for you to be able to understand, you know, um, that clearly you want to make better decisions, investing and all these other things. And so what people did was is in that space where they couldn't really do a lot of maneuvering and traveling and working, and they had to become more creative at home. I think once you turn on or turn the ignition to the engine that runs creativity,
Right.
the mind just kind of goes wild. It just starts going, wow, I can do that, and I could actually turn around and be more successful doing this myself first, versus going to a job where I have to kind of move at the beat of that,
Right.
you know. So I just think that what we just went through, and what some people made a decision finally on was is that I was, they were going to make a decision to just go ahead and kind of roll the dice on themselves.
Roll the dice.
You know
Roll
what I
the
mean?
dice.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So
Here's the thing. I think everybody will want to be an entrepreneur, but everybody necessarily can't be an entrepreneur. And I think what it is too, what you got to be careful with, even when you sitting back and you start changing your mind, framing your theories and all this type of stuff, you can grow. You can definitely grow. You can definitely find a way to make money without being an employee. But also know that it's not a bad thing when you are an employee. You can do both. You just got to work the job and don't let it work you. I think the biggest thing in life that I don't care what you're reading, what you're looking at, what you're trying to do is do not let somebody or anything else live your life for you. You live your life for you.
right,
And when you're a decent person, you're gonna care. You're gonna take care of what's needs to be taken care of. Your family, your home, finances, life. Like you're gonna do it. But people gotta also understand that you cannot be the best unless you take care of you first. See, I'm gonna go and talk about how they always say, I don't care what religion you're in, what religion you pay attention to, they're gonna always tell you to put God first. But once again, where is God? God is your belief system. It's in your mind. It's what you believe in. So when you put God first and God is love and God was positive thoughts, then you will put yourself in positive thoughts. See, in the Ten Commandments, it tell you, love God with all your mind, body, and soul. Then it tells you to love your neighbor as you love yourself. So in order for you to love God with all your body, mind, body, and soul, you got to love yourself. And that's the only way you could love your neighbor. See, everybody looks at the certain parts of the Bible and pick and choose the parts what they want to look at. So when you taking care of yourself and trying to do things that make you feel special and make you feel good, people will turn around and call you selfish. But in all actuality, you're not being selfish. You're taking care of what you need to take care of for you.
right.
And the moment a person understands that, the better life will go. And the moment a person realizes that you don't need somebody else to make you feel special or to take care of you, then they'll be in their godly fashion and be able to show you like that. You know what I mean? So I say all that to say is tapping back to last week, Cam made a big decision for it to be SDE. And by making that SDE, he learned values. He didn't take L's. He learned lessons. He took L's, but he got the right L's. And now the man's a successful businessman. You understand what I'm saying?
Just talked about the males, man.
Yeah, you did. On your food for thought.
I just told you need L's to win sometimes.
Right. You know?
You got to
So-
understand the difference in that situation. Yeah, nah. I think the Cam, you know what? Like some other people that I've known in life, they're multifaceted, talented people.
Right.
There's a lot of people I know that they do certain things and it's head scratchers to me, but it'd be like, yo, that's what I felt like doing.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can look at your own. You can look sometimes right in your own home. You know what I mean? You look at your children. You know what I mean? Look at your significant other.
Right.
You may say, wow, I wonder why they did that. Not that it's, okay, all right. It just seems a little odd to me, but it's perfectly normal in their world, right?
Right.
And even though you may say to them, like, yo, you're a great, great dancer. Why doesn't that energy match with everything else?
Right.
And the response may be, I don't know. When in reality, they do know the answer. The answer is simple. I enjoy doing this better than that.
Right. That's it.
That's all
That's
it
it.
is.
Yeah,
That's all it is.
That's it.
And all you got to do is be honest with yourself, because until you can actually be honest with yourself and admit to the thing that you actually enjoy, you're going to just kind of be on the same the rat race, the rat wheel, of so to speak, the hamster wheel, doing the exact same things. Now, when you
Right.
multifacetedly talented, you know what I mean? Like in
Right.
his case, you know what I mean? He dabbled in all of those things. You know, he was great in sports. He was good at sports. You know what I mean? I guess he was pretty shifty and maneuvered pretty well in the drug element of things.
Keep hollering at him.
Then you had the situation where he was dealing with in entertainment. So what I realized more than anything else is when you make a decision on what you want to be and what you want to do in life, it don't matter what other people think that you should be. It just simply doesn't. And I believe that whenever you see these inside of people, you need to encourage it. I don't care if you're talking about, your significant other, your children. You got to be able to go against the reality or the normal sometimes to be able to get the extraordinary things out. And that's the thing. Everybody has this thing where they want to be extraordinary in life. You seldomly run into a person that say, "I want to be a normal person. I want to be an average Joe. I want to be like." It's not that you need to be in front of the camera all the time. Like I said, I was telling you before, even talking about dealing with the investment in terms of like the rideshare business. The rideshare business. And it was brought to my attention that somebody said, well, everybody doesn't want to be necessarily an entrepreneur. And my response to that situation, but everybody likes multiple streams of income. So I'd rather be multi-talented in the ability to be able to create multiple streams of income than to be, just doing what, somebody wants me to do. And I think when you look at a person like Cam, who created a situation, created an album called SDE, Sex, Drugs, and Entertainment, he was letting it be known that these are things that I excelled in. So he was recognizing himself and his ability to be able to do these things at a high level. There's a difference. There's a difference. That's all I'm saying in terms of when people are doing things based on their only available options and recognizing themselves and their ability and maximizing the effort in it. You know what I mean? Or maximizing, their talents and abilities in it to get the best possible result.
Right. Right, bro.
That's like if you look at a person like Jay-Z, who if they have said, unless you were right there to witness any of these things transpiring in his life before his rap career,
right,
you wouldn't know, right? And if you look at what he's great at, it would seem to me like no matter how successful he may have been in the other side of what he was doing before rap, it can't have hold a candle against what he does now.
Right.
It can't. You know what I'm saying? So people don't mind sharing those things. People don't mind discussing that. People don't mind showing their multifaceted talents. And it's always going to be some stigmas. There's always going to be some people that's like, yo, you did what? Oh, you did what?
Yeah.
But if you allow those people to derail you from being able to be open-minded enough to say maybe I'm multi-talented instead of one-dimensional,
Right.
then you'll do exactly whatever what anybody wants you to do.
Right. That's where you would actually cut yourself short. You know what I mean? It
Right.
goes back to what I was just talking about. You got to put yourself first. You got to understand. You got to do what you got to do in life. It's just like when we turned around and said we was starting this. We was going to do this. I'm sure it was people like, now everybody want to do podcasts and everything. Now these brothers, somebody somewhere, you understand what I'm saying? But once they watched it and they seen it, they like, oh, no, I like that. I like what they doing. I like that situation right there. You know what I mean? And I think what helped it was, the quality of the product that we put out. And I told you in episode 1, consistency. Consistency was going to be the key. You know what I mean? And with that being said, I want to talk about this company that has consistently handled events, and all we do is get success from it. You know what? I'm just going to shut up and let y'all see the commercial.
Look, check it out. Let's get that stress off your plate. All right? Got that big event coming up, and you don't want to have to do all the work. I got a company for you, full service event company that's going to take care of all of your event planning needs. That's www.fncevents.com. A full service event planning company. Take all the stress off your head, kick back and enjoy the party. Once again, that's www.fncevents.com. Head on over there, get that party booked, and get it done. Back to the show. Absolutely.
Front and center events.
Front center events, man.
Yeah.
Make sure y'all check it out for all the event planning needs. No, like you're saying though, bruh, it's just one of those things where if you don't understand the value for yourself,
Right.
and if you're not, comfortable with keeping your options open and understanding that you got to go against the grain sometime to be able to get to where you want to get to.
Mm-hmm.
You stay one dimensional. Like I was saying, man, like the reason why those guys don't have a problem sharing their past is because they're proud of their presence.
Absolutely.
That's why. Even if you look, take it out of that, right? I've been in churches, and this ain't nothing knock against nothing.
Nah.
I've been in churches and
We
talked
don't knock
and
stuff,
heard,
man. We don't knock stuff.
right?
Yeah.
And been around, pastors. They may give testimony about what they're doing, but they always seem to be able to make it where it becomes a comfortable thing where you can make it normal, or they normalize things in terms of, you being able to understand where they came from. They want you to they give you testimony about where they came from to where they currently are. And all of them don't have the same backstory, but I've heard some of them say some backstories that made you look at their present and be like, I can't even picture you like that.
Right.
Where it's some people that's probably in the congregation who could even remember those days.
Right.
Who probably sit there and be like, yeah, I was out there with him. I understand. But if that person was uncomfortable with understanding that at some point or another that they needed to change some of the direction and some of the things that they was doing, they would have just kept doing what everybody else was doing.
That's it. That's it. Nah, that's it, bro.
So your options are what they are, right? But they're designed based on how far your imagination can take you.
Mm-hmm.
We laugh and crack jokes about Petey.
Listen, you talk about it. It's connected because I was about to say it. Petey,
Yeah,
listen, Petey showed us.
He did.
Yeah.
He did. I mean, you got so many people, man, that like whoever the first person is or whoever came up with I can't think of what they call them. Like some of this artificial intelligence stuff, right?
Right.
Some of this AI stuff, like even some of the things that you speak to, these automated things, and they do certain things like adjust your lights and they whatever, change the temperature in your home and all this. Somebody thought about that. Right? Somebody thought about that. And when it was first discussed with someone, I guarantee you there was at least, if there was 3 people in the room, somebody, at least one of them in that room was like, you want to make something that you talk to and then just go over and why we can't just go over there and turn the light switch anymore? You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Why we can't just flick the switch and cut it on? And then there was other people that was inside of the room. The other two people were like, well, wait a minute. One was presenting the situation. The other one was more open-minded.
Yeah.
Time goes on, the situation is created, and now you're trying to fathom the thought of what life was out before that situation existed.
Right.
But there needs to be a backstory to support it. But if the options were only go in there and flick the switch, that's different. You know how I know it's a difference? Because look at the resistance, right? I'm going to give you a prime example. I can get a bunch of those automated systems, change light bulbs and stuff like that in the house, change my thermostat thing, change my locks and stuff for the door, work in all these other different electronics. You're going to have somebody come over and see how conveniently those things work, how easy they work, how seamless certain things go, and they're going to say, oh, man, you ain't worried about that one day locking you up in the house? No. I'm not worried about any of that. Because the person who created that, it's the funniest thing, like the person who created that knew that there would be consumers or people that was out there who thought the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't let them stop that from doing that. And the difference is while we're somewhere worried about the locks being locked on the door because of something that I said, asking something about the temperature, that other person who created that is somewhere wealthy, rich,
Right.
working on the next thing. Like I talked to you before, bro, when I was telling you about the whole situation with the fuel and the gas prices and all that stuff going up.
Mm-hmm.
There was somebody somewhere saying to themselves, guess what? Guess what started to sell better? Electric cars.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I want a Fisker. If you look that up while you're talking right there. Look it up if you got time. It's called a Fisker. Fisker. A Fisker. Yeah, Fisker electric car.
What is that? Electric car?
Yeah, that's the first one I actually seen while you driving down the street. Your roof is a solar panel and it's giving you charge while you driving. Because you know you gotta stop off. I'm not saying any other ones, I don't know. But you know when you ride and you gotta stop off. See the difference that I don't like about an electric car. I know you see the electric car things at the Walmart and everything around, down your way where you live at and all that. But it now take you about 20 minutes to get full. So you got to go there, get your little bite to eat or something, walk in the store and all that. Then you come out, you jump in, then you go. You might be good for another 300-400 miles. You see the Fisker or not?
I'm still looking it up. They talking about they limited in stock. You can't find them. I'm just looking.
Yeah.
I want to see what a picture of it looks like.
It should be a website for it. But that's the one I seen. I said, oh, they want about 70 for it, though. You know what I mean?
I mean, they got one, a Fisker. They got one called Karma. It's a 2013 Karma.
No, you know what? Put in the Fisker Ocean.
It starts at 105.
This one I'm talking about is the Fisker Ocean.
Fisker Ocean.
Ocean.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it sounds like a very interesting vehicle.
Yeah. But you got American companies now making them. Co-worker of mine, good guy of mine, he got him a electric Mustang.
Really?
Yeah, he got him an electric Mustang. Yeah. Clean, man.
I know, it's quiet too.
Yup, rolled past me one day. I was walking to my car. I didn't even hear him passing me. I heard like
that could have probably been. It's part of the drugs too. I see it. I see it. It's nice, man.
Yeah. They gonna start. Yeah. See, that
look like Tron. That look like Tron on the top.
Yeah, it does. See what I'm saying?
Wow, I'm looking at the inside right now.
That shit.
Y'all get a chance, y'all. Y'all look that up, man. Fisker, man. I went to fiskerinc.com.
Yeah.
And it just shows you the different vehicles or whatever. It's expensive. They don't.
But they're making an electric because it's not just the Blazer. It's I think they got a GMC Bronco now for some reason. Don't ask me why instead of a Ford Bronco, but it's a electric GMC truck like it might have a Yukon that's electric now. Like I'm telling you, they trying to make everything electric.
Yeah. You know what's funny? It's the same way that people felt about electric ovens versus gas.
Yeah, I have an electric oven.
Right, because some people are like, man, I don't like cooking on electric ovens, man. You got to stay right here and watch it. And I heard somebody say that one time, and I said, I'd suggest you watch food anyway.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
I don't care if you was cooking it with fire outside. You should
Yeah,
pay attention to it.
right. You should pay
You know what I
attention to
mean?
it.
Oh man, it just cooked different. It is what it is.
Yeah, you
Everything
don't.
ain't for everybody.
Yeah, some things you got to turn up higher, some things you don't. You know, depending what kind of stove you got. It depends which burner you got it on too. You know, they tell you on there, this is a simmer burner. This is a cooker burner right here. This one
Right.
keeps it warm.
Which
So
one
you
do
can't.
use, eh?
Well, when I'm cooking,
Yeah.
I don't really cook, but when I cook, it's on a regular cook joint. Hey, go ahead, let's cook this bacon real fast. But you gotta have him down on like 2, man, because if you take him up to 6,
Right.
that bitch is gone. It's burnt. Don't take long.
Right. Right.
But everybody who said they didn't like an electric stove, you ever notice they all had one of them electric griddles? Or a Foreman grill? What the fuck is that?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. You know what I notice too? Most of the time, a lot of times, it's a lot of electric stoves in Airbnbs, man. I don't know. I don't know.
I've never really stayed in too many Airbnbs to pay attention to it.
Yeah, or like you know how you got them rental homes and stuff. You might go to Florida.
Oh yeah,
different
oh
places
yeah,
like
you're
that.
right, you're right, you're right. They do, they
It
do.
seems like it's a lot of electric. I don't know if there's a reason behind that. Maybe depending on whatever state it's in, not state, but I don't know. Maybe gas ain't the same in certain areas or whatever.
Right.
But you know, it is what it is on it, man. And like
Everybody
you
gonna
talking
go
about,
solar after a while. They're gonna all have solar panels. Everybody's gonna be, it's a lot of solar incentives right now. If you're a person who wants solar panel, if you got a tree blocking there, cut that tree down and make sure you get it. You might need a new roof. Some people would get a new roof out of it. Depends what company you mess with,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we need to get into this week's. Let's do. Where we at? Where did we leave off? Would you rather?
Welcome to this week's Would You Rather. Would you rather have Petey walk your dog in the day or Petey walk your dog in the night? Would you rather have Dundee cut your grass or Ozzy change your tire? We'll find out on this episode of Would You Rather.
You ain't like my dog, man?
Whoop.
I think it came out of nowhere, man.
It did.
Hey, man, welcome to another week of this. Tripping. Welcome to another. It ain't even sipping.
It's the
Would
SDE.
you rather? Yeah. Would you rather be a goat or a sheep?
I'm going to go with a sheep that has aggression. I'm adding my little spice to it. I don't know too many people who eat sheep, but I know a lot of motherfuckers who eat goat. I ain't trying to get ate.
You said you don't know. Hold up, man. Hold up. All right. So you rather be? Say it again. You rather be what?
I'm going to be a sheep, but I'm going to be a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Oh, so now you. Okay. Would you rather constantly be too hot or never quite dry?
What's the difference? If you too hot, you going to be sweating. You ain't dry anyway. What type of shit is that? I ain't walking around moist all day because certain areas of your body being moist is some bullshit.
All right. Would you rather have your skin color change to reflect your mood or never be able to tell a lie again?
Say what now? Say that to me again.
Would you rather have your skin color change to reflect your mood or never be able to tell a lie again?
I'm going to go with the first one only because some lies are necessary. And our skin color already changes for some people with their mood. So it's kind of more
Right.
normal.
This one right here. It's kind of serious.
Mm-hmm.
Would you rather be considered guilty for a crime you didn't commit or have your closest friend, charged for a crime you did commit?
I'm not answering that question, man. Like, there's no win there.
Nah, I told you before I said it that this one requires Eagle had to really dig in his real bag, man.
I don't want to go to jail for nothing I ain't do, and I don't want them to go to jail for nothing they ain't do. I can't out karma work. I'm not that much of a dirtbag, man, to do that. So you know what I mean. So you know, I'm just going like state property. I'm going out like state property. I'm in the courtroom. I ain't going nowhere, psych.
All right. Well,
So who?
would
Here's
you
the
ra-
question though. Here's the question.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Who did the crime that they said I did? Did he do it?
No, you did it. Oh no,
No.
you talking about the first part.
The one. Oh, wait, who did the crime that they trying to charge me for? Did he do it?
No,
Just a random person did it.
somebody else did it.
This is the story of the hurricane. I can't send nobody to jail for some shit I did, man.
Hey, that's why that's not an easy question, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Would you rather? Let me see. Oh man, that ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Would you rather never show in photographs, or always break your shopping bag?
What you mean? In photographs not be seen?
Yeah.
The shopping bag can break, man. You know, they didn't say nothing about the basket breaking.
Right.
Bag.
Right. Would you rather get food poisoning poisoning monthly, or always be followed by flies?
What is you on, man? I don't want to be food poisoned. How many flies? 2? I'm gonna kill both of them as soon as I get up every morning.
About 20 of them, like flies, like something stank.
P, I'm gonna kill them.
Okay. All right, I just asked, man. You know what I mean? I don't make the questions. I just read them to
What
you,
was
man.
the other side of that question? A fly or stank? What you say?
I said, well, would you rather get food poisoning?
Nah, I don't want no food poisoning. My stomach messed up. It's corny as hell, man. I don't like that.
Yeah, because them flies gonna still be following.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? It's one on here. I wanted to ask you, but I'm trying to find it real quick, man. All right. Would you rather be able to predict the weather, but only have 5 minutes before, or be able to sense when someone is lying, but only to others?
Okay, so you said, would I be able
Let
to?
me read it to you again.
Yeah, that's
Would you rather be able to predict the weather,
stay
but
tuned for the weather.
but only 5 minutes before, or be able to sense when someone is lying, but only to others? Not when they lying to you or something, but when they lying to other people.
The lie part, because you know why? To predict the weather. So you saying if I could predict the weather, but I only know, like, okay, if a hurricane is coming, I only know 5 minutes before it's coming? That's what you saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's how it is anyway. I don't care where you at. You stand there, it starts to do all that dumb shit. You gonna move.
I can't.
But
wait
I
till
want,
the next-
but I want somebody. If somebody lying to you, I'm like, P, he lying. This nigga's lying.
Right.
I want to be able
You
to
know
say
what?
that.
I think I'll take that too, because I'll do
Yeah.
the same for you, bruh.
Hey,
I'll be like,
he's lying, man. He's lying.
Hey. I'll be
Yeah.
like that. You gonna love this, man. You ready for this one? Eh?
Right.
Would you rather be fluent in every language,
Oh,
only when shouting though? You gotta shout that shit. You fluent in every language, or you can't, or understand animals, but they can only whisper directly in your ear. Think about that feeling right now in your ear.
what type of Billy Goat bullshit is that? Nah, I'll take the languages because I'm fluent when I got it. For them to hear me, I gotta yell it. However, it's always a loophole, P.
All right, what's the loophole?
I can write it, so I can text now fluently. And put it in all caps. I'm yelling text messages. Ah!
Nah, that's all right. You did the right thing. Yeah.
Fluent. And I don't I don't want no bull to come over here and talk about that bull you told on come getting out the ball. Like I don't want no bull come saying no bullshit like that in my ear.
All right. Would you rather? Would you rather have springs stuck to your back, or have to wear a hat that
What?
can't come off?
How fast do the hat dry?
I don't know, man.
So do the springs come off?
No.
So the springs are
They stuck to your back.
forever?
Yeah,
In the
ain't
hat?
shit that's stuck, man. Yeah, they stuck.
In the hat? Give me the hat. I wear a hat all
And
the
that
time.
Yeah, the hat can't never come off. So when it get wet and it stank,
P, I can't lay down with the springs.
lay on your stomach.
How I'm gonna get the bounce? Man, like boinging, boinging, boinging. I bounce like I'm on my back. They boinging, boinging. Like, everybody's bouncing. Should be riding me like a kangaroo.
Would you rather cluck like a chicken when you read, or screech like a rooster before you talk?
So I be like, it's Miss, we read the book. So Mike's dad, cluck, 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 the whole time I'm reading, cluck, cluck, cluck.
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
cock-a-doodle-doo.
yeah.
Shout out to P in the back. I see him, you know what I mean? My name be DJ Ricky Roos. Like like Chris called me sometime. The rooster. Yeah, I'll be the rooster, man. Let me go ahead with that.
All right. Would you rather leave a trail of glitter wherever you go, or constantly find sand in your shoes?
Trail of glitter, man. That saying shoe shit is bullshit. Give me a wheelchair then. Like, you know what I mean? Especially if it get hot.
Yeah,
Feet always ashy and shit. Like,
yeah. Would you rather hear the same song repeatedly, or listen to white noise for a year?
same song
Either one
repeatedly.
gonna be for a year.
Same song repeatedly.
Word?
I'm not listening to white noise for a year, P.
You can't just listen to the fan and some shit blowing.
All right, man. Vacuum. Some shit like that. Like, you trying to say, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. I really don't know, man.
Take us out of here, man. Get us out of here.
That was another episode of Would You Rather. And Would You Rather had me rathered funny. You know what? Let's just get back to the show.
No! Would you rather? Hey, man. I'm still stuck off the bear-sized duck, or the duck-sized bear, man, or whatever it was.
Yeah. What I said? I said I fight. Oh, you said baby rhinos one time, or he said I said he little, man. He said he little, man.
Hey, little, man. You know what I mean?
You always try to put a nigga on some Mario Brothers shit. That's what you be doing, man.
Yo, did you see that video I sent you yet, man?
Which
The
one?
TikTok joint with the deer?
Nah.
Yeah.
Did you see the video? They showing the gas. They said gas station owners right now.
No.
Yeah, it's in the text group we got. Man. We getting off subject right there. But listen, man, y'all know this is the Porch Podcast. And we just want to take a few minutes to thank y'all, man. Y'all been riding with us for 64 straight episodes. 64 straight episodes. And this was SDE. You know, P got the food for thoughts popping off every week. You know, I gotta get back on the turntables. I DJ every week. I want y'all to know that. But I need to start DJing more. I might just take one episode and just be actually playing music at the same time on the side, like all instrumentals. You know,
That'd be dope.
see if P can
That'd be
still
dope.
rap.
That'd be dope. Yeah, man. I mean, I agree. You know, it's been multiple weeks of success, man, and we just want to take the time, since y'all take the time, to, you know, acknowledge you guys properly for tuning in and leaving comments and, you know, supporting us. You know, me and E had a vision, came together. You know what I'm saying? We enjoying the ride. You know, we enjoy the conversations. You know, for those, like I say all the time, who we run into when we out and about, shout out for y'all, man, for even acknowledging the fact that, yo, your two favorite brothers from the porch get a little bit of your time from time to time. We appreciate that, seriously.
Right.
You know, like anything else, man. You know, we enjoy it. We enjoy it. We hope you guys are, enjoying it as well.
Hmm.
I don't know. What are we doing? Are we wrapping up, or is this we
Oh
took
yeah,
our
yeah,
time?
yeah, yeah. Now we wrapping up. I mean,
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure we did this before we wrapped up. You
Yeah.
know.
So, just in closing, y'all know I like to do my little part of it more or less like a food for thought type of situation.
Hmm.
In regards to the whole SDE thing, the primary
It's
thing, and
called. This is
understand
we're
that.
gonna call this Peace Point.
Okay, let's go with that, and we can do that.
Yeah.
Um, Point in the episode, as we discussed the reality that we all have options and choices in life, and if you don't know that, you should know that. Look around and pay attention to your surroundings. Before you start to think that things are only created to go one way, ask yourself some very basic fundamental questions. Am I happy with the choices that I'm making in my life? Are there things that I desire to have that I'm really not pursuing and I need to start working more on? If
Well.
the answers to those questions parallel to one another, then the reality of it is that you got some work to do, right?
Right.
And you need to just continue to do better at understanding your first and foremost that you do have options.
Right.
You know what I mean? We talked about Cam and his ability to be able to promote, the SDE and have, a history of being involved in each one of those different things, the sex, drugs, and entertainment thing. We discussed how people are now, you know, uh, working from home more than ever. You know, we discussed how people like Petey took his own approach and decided to be able to do things outside of the status quo.
He did it his way.
He did it his way and continuously does it to this day like that. So the point and purpose in all of that situation, like you said, with this being the closeout part of it is that identify with what you want in life.
Right.
Do things uncommonly well.
Hmm.
Understand that there's a reason why those thoughts lie in your mind. Talked about it before. The difference between dreams and reality is consciousness.
Right.
You need to have direction. You need to be able to have a plan. But above all those things, you need to have your own mind.
Right. 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 It's P's point, man, and the point is always made by P. Y'all know y'all can catch us on any of our streaming sites, on all streaming sites. Our streaming sites, like we own them. I bought them and
All you're
everything.
doing is bringing it to fruition.
There it is. Yeah. Um. We got Apple Podcasts. We have Amazon Music. We have Stitcher. We have Spotify. We have iHeartRadio, Audible, Radio Public, Overcast, Google Podcasts, Red Circle. We also have YouTube at the Porch Podcast. That's the way you see it in the credits. DAPORCHPODCAST. Right there on YouTube. You can find Pete. You can find P's Food for Thought on his P original page and his Facebook page and everything. And I'm just listen, man. SDE. It's all about a choice at the end of the day, man. I ain't got much else to say to you, but live life. Want to live life. Find what you want to do, cause nothing is promised but death, and you want to be able to do it the best you can. This is your boy DJ E, Mr. Influential. P, you gonna say
And I'm
something?
P original. And I'm P original, baby. And like we say each and every week, man, like E just said, man, the only thing you promise is opposite, opposite of life. I'm gonna end it out on the quote that I said last week by Sidney J. Harris. In life, when people sigh and say that life is hard, I am often, compelled to ask the question compared to what?
Right.
Hey, man, keep on living, man. Keep on living, laughing, and loving, man. We appreciate the time. We see y'all next week. All right, y'all. Peace.
All right, y'all. Peace. Porch Podcast and come out.